Osteopenia, osteoporosis of the spine. What should you be doing? What can you be doing? Let's talk about the exercises that you should be doing, one exercise that you shouldn't be doing, and also your nutrition. Hi, I'm Well Hearing. I've been in nutrition for the past 2 decades, and I break things down really simply for you to understand, and then so you can put things into practice going forward. Now, first, you've got this diagnosis, osteopenia, osteoporosis of the spine. It may be come about because you've had a DEXA scan or you've had compression fractures of the spine. Now, first of all, I understand a diagnosis. I understand it very well, and it's a really tough thing to go through. However, you've got the diagnosis now, and what you can do right now is create a plan. You can't control what happens in the future, but you can control what happens right now. And just being able to gather that information and putting a plan in place and then following through consistently, that's all you can be doing. So let's talk about nutrition. Now, I do have the link in the description. You'll see our guide to nourish your bones, and it talks you through all the bone building nutrients to have in your diet and also the supplements that you can be taking. It breaks it down really simply, so then you understand which direction that you can go in. So it is $37, but I think it's well worth it, and I've got a lot of comments come back saying this has been amazing. They've been searching, they didn't really understand, but it puts it into a very simple framework. Getting your nutrition right is really important because it is the foundations of building those bones. If you don't have the foundations of building the bones, like the calcium, the vitamin D, the boron, you are not going to be able to build those bones or at least maintain the density of them and not lose any more. So get your nutrition right. The second thing is exercises. What can you do to help maintain that bone mineral density or even be able to lay it down? Because you can at any age, the research backs this up, is that any age you can lay down bone mass. We just need to put it in the right actions. When you've got compressions of the spine, you do need to be a little bit more careful though, because you don't want to be doing exercises that is going to be detrimental to you. Okay, so in my Nourish Your Bones, I do heel drops, and heel drops in the research, we come up on our toes and really slam onto our heels. That is great for stimulating the bones because a lot of the exercises that we're going to be doing will be stimulating the bones. However, it can be really painful for people when they've got the osteopenia, osteoporosis of the spine, and we do not want the pain. So if you have had compression fractures and you're in that 0 to 3 months of after the compression fractures, you need to be going to see someone who can assess you as an individual. Don't get your information from over here, even from me, because you need to be assessed as an individual, especially if you're healing from it. So these exercises, which I'm about to go through today, is more for the people who have either been diagnosed with osteopenia, osteoporosis of the spine, or they're not getting any pain from the compression fractures and you're down the line a little bit from them. Okay. Let's break it down. Now, it's very simply, and I'm going to have exercises linked in the description below, but there are 4 key areas that we want to be working on, and we can work them on at the same time as well, which makes it super simple. So the number one thing with exercise is that we want to be stimulating the bone, because the more that we stimulate the bone, the more that we're going to be able to put down bone mass if we've got the right nutrients there. So we do this in a number of ways. The first one is strengthening our back. So making sure that our back muscles are stronger or working on their strength of them is the first key. How you go about this really depends on where you're starting from. I've got some simple exercises as this is starting at really basics. If these are too easy for you, you always need to progress. So progression overload with strengthening our muscles, that is a key of growing muscles. So if these exercises are too simple for you, make sure you go hire for a personal trainer and say, hey, we need to work on our back muscles. Now, the one area which I will go over straight away is that you want to stay away from is forward bending. So any of the yoga poses where you're forward bending, the downward dogs, this can sometimes be more harm than good. So just make sure that you're really careful on those forward bends. Exercises to strengthen the upper back, they can be done sitting in a chair. So go and have a look at those exercises because these chair exercises can be done very, very simply. The second area which we concentrate on is our posture and our core. So by working on our transverse abdominis, and I like transverse abdominis more, it's the muscles that wrap around our spine, that's going to help us just increase. So this is me with my core off. If I put those transverse abdominis on, I'm up and back. That's not me coming up. That's me just engaging my abdominis muscles, which then obviously helps with my posture, which is then going to help pulling the bones and strengthening my upper back. And we're not going to be getting our hunchback as well. So having a strong core, especially those transverse abdominis, is one of the areas that we're going to be working on. And again, have a look at those exercises and the link in the description to simple exercises that will stimulating those core transverse abdominis. The third area is mobility. We need to be a bit more mobile in our upper and our back. And that's the thing that goes. So we don't want to be jarring with it, because if you are really weak in your spine and you're jarring, this is the very thing that could cause compression fractures. And if you've just found out that you've got compression fractures, it could be from even just reaching up and really quickly holding yourself. So making sure there's simple exercises again, but any sort of mobility where you're moving from side to side, controlled and slow to begin with. If it's hurting, we've got to stop, but we want to be stretching that out and having more mobility in the spine. So the side-to-side movements is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck there. The fourth area is our balance. Working on our balance is going to be a key area for anybody with osteopenia, osteoporosis, because if life happens, right, there's a curb, there's a little lip that we do trip over. If we can catch ourselves and not fall, that is going to be prevention enough. Then if we can't catch ourselves and we fall, of course, accidents happen and we fall over. However, if we can decrease our risk of falling by having better balance, that is going to be a really key prevention strategy for you. Now, how do you work on your balance? It's really simple. It's just standing on one foot. Now, I always say a wobble is a good thing. If you're not wobbling, make yourself wobble. Now, we don't want to be falling over with it, but how you do that is just stand on one foot, pull the knee that's not standing up more, and then after that, put your cross your shoulders so you haven't got any balance stabilizing you, and then it's moving your head side to side. Those are progressions that you can make. And again, if you find yourself you're standing on one foot and you literally can't stand up for 2 seconds, start there. We can always progress, and I promise you, if you do a couple of balance movements while the jug's boiling or you're waiting in line for something, you will get better. And it's just that consistency of doing it, you will get better. Again, a wobble is a good thing because it is stimulating your brain to help you maintain that balance and having better balance. So 4 key areas that we work on: strengthening the back, making sure our posture and our core is good, our mobility, and also our balance. Now, you can do this very, very easily in the day, and how to break it down. How I would do it is do 10 minutes, 3 minutes on the upper body, 3 minutes on the core, and 3 minutes on your mobility, and then doing your balance. That's all it really takes. It's just being consistent with doing it. So find ways where you can stack these habits in your day so they become just something that you do. That's the key to it, really, is finding how you can do it and do it easily. There's no barrier there, because the more that you do it, the more that we stimulate our muscles, stimulate our bone, the better off you're going to be, not only now, but in the future as well. So start there. So if you have been diagnosed with osteopenia and osteoporosis of the spine, just think of those 4 things to do and do them in a way, like even if you don't like the exercises, which I've got, Google transverse abdominis, Google back strengthening exercises, go see someone and say, hey, I want a program for doing my transverse abdominis, for doing my back strengthening, for my posture, for my balance, for my mobility. Start getting ideas off people. We don't want pain. We don't want to be forward bending. Those are the 2 things that we're staying away from. So if you do that, you're setting yourself up with that plan for the future, and you're doing it consistently. Still keep living your life. You don't want to be fearing life. I know a diagnosis is hard, but so you can put a plan in place now. So wishing you all the best, making sure you're getting those things in place with what you can do, with what you can control. Make sure you go have a look at Nourish Your Bones, because it does break down the nutritional components of what you need for your bone building. So wishing you all the best.